Hey everyone, welcome to the Elite Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Popple, along with my co-host, William McClelland. How you doing today, Will?
Always good, man. Super stoked for our guest.
Dude, it's going to be a great day. We have
Big
a
one.
huge guest in today. Today's guest, Matthew, I hope I'm saying his last name right, Teifke, a real estate entrepreneur who has acquired over 120 million in property. He's built a successful brokerage and property management company in Austin and is now under contract on over 1,200 multifamily units in San Antonio. Matthew measures success differently. For him, it's not all about titles or volume. It's about alignment, trust, and partnerships and building something that lasts. He's grounded in faith, family, and purpose. Matthew believes that the biggest wins come through collaboration and shared vision. In this episode, we'll break down how he's scaled responsibly, why alignment matters more than ego, and what it really takes to build wealth without losing your soul. Let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Matthew.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be here with you guys. Thanks for the intro. And let's have some fun, man. It's great to hang out and talk some real estate.
Let's do it, man. No, thanks so much for being on. Man, welcome to the show. For those that don't know, let's just go high level. Who is Matthew? Where'd you come from? And what are you doing now?
Yeah, high level. I'm in Austin, Texas. Really, my real estate journey started with my mom. She was a single mom, and she was buying rental properties when I was a little kid.
No way. That's cool.
So I really, truly remember her when we first I moved to Austin when I was 3 years old from Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, okay.
And she was cleaning houses, man. And by the time I was 17, 18, she had 15 rental properties.
No way.
Yeah, I mean that's a grinder, right? Like there's a lot to that, and I got to experience that and be a part of it, and I was really inspired at a really early age from that process. And really, at this point, I've got two little boys, 7 and 5 years old. I'm married. I've been married for 10 years. I'm 34 years old, and it's been a wild journey, guys. I built a brokerage in Austin, Texas. We had 180 real estate agents. My wife and I were managing 780 single family homes. I personally lost $4 million of my own money on one publicly traded stock. That humbled me in such a big and real way. And also was kind of a setback in some ways, but it did bring me closer to God and helped me understand more about my role and what matters in life in a lot of ways. And at the same time, I bought 120 million of assets. I've got 70 under contract, and none of that I say to build myself up, man. It's just I really just focused on real estate as hardcore as anybody I've ever met, and humbly, and 10 times over at my age. I mean, I feel like I probably overdid it in a sense for 10 years. Like I got what I feel like is like 25, 30 years of experience out of 15, just because I was all in, but I'm 34. I got a cool story to share. I have momentum again. Losing that money was mentally tough for me, but I've never lost money in real estate. I've always been good at real estate. I got sidetracked on, it was actually a cannabis company. And I didn't feel like I was gambling. I knew everything about the company, but long story short, man, me and my wife have lived in 18 different properties. We were always buying and selling and buying and selling. My son's 7 and he's lived in 9 properties, including an RV park. And yeah, so just been a grinder, man. I was a real estate agent and worked at a brokerage. And then I just really got motivated to create a brokerage that was the entrepreneurial space where you could help people buy and sell, but you could invest and you could partner. And that has deep roots as far as like who I want to partner. And I've always just looked at real estate as like there's deals and there's people. The numbers are obviously important, but the people are more important. And so I just have an open collaboration process. Like I do a free class every Thursday on Zoom, and there's 80, 90 people there, and we're there for 4 hours, man. And so I'm just giving it everything I have. I'm good at negotiating deals, working deals. In the last 2 years, I've become a capital raiser, and I've raised about $16 million for some deals that we've closed. We've done 5 funds. So there's a lot there, boys, but that's my quick overview in 5 minutes of 15 years in the business.
Dude, man, I love it. I'm definitely on a side note. I want to text you on how you acquired the $4 million to lose it in the first place in the stock. But that's a side story, just my personal interest, because we're talking about real estate now. So you've acquired $120 million in real estate, but you often talk more about alignment than the accolades. And even in what you were telling us just now, you're talking about, the people are a lot of times more important. Where does that perspective come from about, the importance of the alignment over, let's just say, just going for the money in itself?
Well, I mean, to answer your question quickly, the $4 million that I lost, it all came from real estate, all the things that I just mentioned.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it comes from perspective, man. I mean, there's a quote in the Bible, a verse in the Bible about whoever builds in their own name builds in vain. And I was building in my own name. I was the guy doing it. I was the broker. I was the hardest worker in the world. I was the best real estate guy you've ever met. Like, that was me. And it all came crashing down, not even related to real estate, but I realized, like, all my mistakes are moving too fast and doing too much. It's never about not doing or not caring or not trying. And so the alignment with people really just comes from perspective of, like, truly, it's easy to say this if, for some people, they don't really fully understand it, but, like, I could have made 100 million or whatever, and it wouldn't have any true meaning if the people around me didn't respect me. I didn't feel good about what I was building. I wasn't proud of what I did. And losing all of that just taught me, like, one, I don't need to be somebody who makes money to be somebody of value in this world. And at 20 years old until 31 or 32, like, I thought that, like, it's part of our culture and maybe part of my family. And so it's just a lot of it's perspective.
I'm 36, and I still don't know if I've completely lost that train of thought, about myself, is I feel that same way, that I got to produce to be valuable.
Bro, I mean, not to soapbox or anything, but
yeah,
the thing that's like my biggest thing that I try to tell younger people, and I wish I would have known, is, like, no, man, like, you're not competing with other people. Comparison is the thief of joy. I don't need to be somebody with, whether I have 100 million or 1 billion or whatever, like, that should not be my value to people and to the world. And our culture just tells us the opposite of that, right? We all respect, the person who has the nice boat and the watch over the person that's working there. And, like, that's not right. And so, like, perspective is a big part of it, but I keep saying, I wish somebody would have told me that or slowed me down. And, like, dude, I was obsessed. Like, there wasn't, anybody doing more than I was in real estate. I'm competitive. I played sports, but I shifted it to real estate. And I remember being, like, 22, 23, 24, 25 and telling myself, like, and I feel wrong about this, but I'm like, nobody at 25 is doing more than I am in real estate. Nobody at 26 is doing more than I am in real estate. Nobody at 20, like, that's how I thought. And it was probably true, or definitely in the 1%. But that's not, like, I could have done that till I was 100. And what does that even matter? Who cares? Right? Like, it's like, what are the impact that I'm really having? So just, I'm just telling you to try to speak to your soul as a brother. Like, dude, you do bring value. And, 16 years into being an entrepreneur, I've never wanted a job, and I don't want a job. But part of me has been like, man, like, I got an uncle, and he works at a bowling alley, and he makes probably 150 grand a year. He actually owns it, and he works every day, and he shuts it off at night. And, like, there's something respectable about that. But our culture doesn't tell you, like that's success, but it is, right? It's like, he's got people that respect him in his community, and he can be proud of what he's doing. So it's kind of a side subject, but, like, the godly aspect is big for me, man. It's like, the dollars, I want to make money. I want to do big things. I believe I will. Like, I feel pretty confident that I will. But what I offer to the world and how I build myself up is not going to be based on that money aspect of it. I pray that I don't have to learn the same lesson again.
Yeah,
Right.
dude. No, that's a lot of wisdom. So I hope everyone kind of rewinds this a couple times to listen back. I'm already taking 3 pages of notes, but I kind of want to go a little off script because that kind of really speaks to me, and especially timeline wise. You said from 24 to 32, and now you're 34. Like, what did these last 24 months like? How did you build such a large portfolio, completely reset the mind, and just grind through that loss?
Man, I'm still grinding through it.
Grinding.
I'll tell you, just to talk numbers, because we're talking real estate. I mean, the cool thing is the loss. I'm lucky that, all the work that I put into real estate, none of it's been negated, right? The loss was unrelated to real estate, and it was just money. But all the relationships, all the connections, all the effort of real estate, those seeds have been planted for 10 plus years, and they've also been watered. So that's all been there, right? Even when I lost the $4 million, like, I had $60 million of real estate. The problem was that these were all like small commercial deals, single family homes, and there wasn't a lot of cash flow.
Sure.
And so when I had the 4 million, if I needed 50 grand, 20 grand, 100 grand, that was no problem. Just sell a little stock. When that goes to zero, I'm like, dude, 10 grand, 5 grand, 20 grand has mattered to me more than it has in a very long time.
Sure.
That's super humbling, right?
Sure.
I mean, I remember when I first got into real estate, I was working at Papa John's, making like $400, $800 paychecks, and then I got a $7,000 commission, and that was like game changer, right? But then like 7,000 and 8,000, they didn't have any real meaning to me. They're just like little checks. So that was just such a humbling experience. Like 1,000 now to me means more than it ever has. Because so of that 4 million, I'll just walk you through this because it's pretty interesting. But 650 of that was borrowed on a line of credit from a bank. Gotcha. And I'm paying $4,400 a month on that. Right. And then I've got $2,800 where I live, got 2 kids. Like, it's like 10 grand a month for me to survive. Just half of that's from that debt. Right. But thank God, like last year I closed 2 big deals. That's paying me about $7,000 a month passively. My wife's doing property management. That's making $6 grand a month passively. I will naturally sell or be an entrepreneur and make $200-300 grand in real estate in general, just from like putting deals together. And so I'll overcome it. And a lot of it's been trusting God. Like, dude, every month for a long time, it was just barely working out. Like, oh man, boom, thank God I got another 30 days. Boom, thank God I got another 60 days. And I believe I'm close to out of that. Like, I've got momentum again. But it was a lot of faith, a lot of hard work. Like, honestly, I probably should have filed bankruptcy. And I never even truly looked into it. And I have no judgment about anybody who has done that. But like, I would have to, just the type of person I am, like, you would have to force me to file bankruptcy before I would ever do it. Like, I would just rather never, I just don't want that. But I was probably at the point where I should have, but I just kept going, man. Just kept pushing through, kept acquiring real estate. Like, the beautiful thing is right now is a very great time to buy large multifamily deals. And
why is that?
Well, because especially where I'm at in Austin and San Antonio, it was very competitive in 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
These deals have 5-year loans. So the 5-year
cycle,
we're right there. And like the last deal I just bought, the seller had to bring 600,000+ to the table to sell it to us.
Wow.
So if I didn't lose the 4 million on stocks, it very easily could have been 4 million on me buying a $30 million apartment complex.
Sure.
I'm really glad that and that could have destroyed my real estate mentality.
Well, I was going to say that would have had some reputational damage as well, because right now everyone forgives you for what you did in the stock market, but no one's giving you money to do that.
And I have like interesting perspective. Like I really do try to. I mean, there's a couple things I'll tell you real quick, just in the spirit of like what I believe in. It's like partnerships, right? It's like everybody's had a bad partner, but nobody's been a bad partner, right? Where are all these bad partners at? I mean, I don't know where they're at. You know what I'm saying? And the same with these syndicators. It's really easy. I'm not in a position where I have investors that have invested in bad deals with my funds, but it's really easy to be somebody who invested and sitting on the sidelines and calling out your GP because they lost money when you're the one who actually enabled them to do it, right? Like you gave them the money, you made the money easy for them to raise. They're 10 times more stressed than you are. Trust me. Losing $100,000 or $200,000 is devastating and it's really bad. But being the person that lost that for 15 people can that's the kind of thing that people kill themselves about, right? Like just being straight up. And so to sit on the sideline and like talk about them and judge them, you're so far removed from the reality of the game. And I'm not even in that position. I'm just speaking for them in a sense, right? Unless the person lied about the terms of the deal, that's different. But if they showed you all the terms, like nobody would have predicted that we'd be where we are right now in the economy 5 years ago in Austin, Texas.
Right.
Now, I wanted to back up just a little bit, but then I wanted to get into this 1,200 plus doors in San Antonio. So, at what point did you realize that real estate was going to be more than a career and that it was your vehicle for building something bigger?
18 years old, like from the second I was a real estate agent, man. I started as a real estate agent, selling houses, leasing houses, and I always was like hyper focused on, I want to do this as a career. I mean, I was the first one in the office. I was the last one out. I'm not joking. I was taking 18 hours of school, and I won the rookie realtor of the year in a large city where nobody else was going to school that I was going against for that award.
Right.
And I was hyper focused on, like, all I wanted to do was ask questions to the most successful people I could find. And I wanted to ask them questions that they never even thought about and they couldn't find the answer to. Like that level of like, what? I never even thought about that. Like halfway to impress them.
Okay, so you got to get
what's one of those questions?
Exactly.
I'm writing it down.
I mean, it was just simple things, man. Like, I don't remember exactly, but like on a single family contract, like you have to get your earnest money in. There was a time where you had to get your earnest money in to, make the deal, locked up and official. But there was no timeline on when to get the earnest money in. And like literally, dude, like 2 years later, they changed the contract. And that's just like a simple thing. But like I was so thoughtful and locked in that the question I could have asked you, the basic question, I would have already thought through it 10 times. And then they'd be like, what? Like, good point. Just I was just like dialed in.
Right. So all of these super successful people that you were asking really pointed questions and getting thought-provoking questions, were these all in real estate, or they're just successful people in general that you were meeting and shaking hands with in Austin?
Mostly real estate, but like, dude, I literally called, I remember this, I've talked about this like a couple times, but I called, you can call like Warren Buffett's office. And I remember like being 22 and like trying to talk to him, like just dead serious. Like, is Warren around?
I love it.
And they're like, who is this? I'm like, this is Matt Teifke. And like, what are you calling for? It's like, this wasn't the best, but I'm like, I'm just looking for some advice or something like that. Yeah. If I remember, dude, you can literally like call and talk to his assistant directly.
That's insane.
Yeah. And like you could do, and I did the same thing before. He was still a big name, but nothing like now. The same thing with Trump. Like this was in 2012, 2011. 2010. Like he had a real estate brokerage in New York, and I was like just trying to go work there. Like I wanted to be around the best.
Yeah, I love that. And so now bringing it to modern times, you're currently under contract on 1,200 plus doors in San Antonio. Walk us through how that deal of that size comes together.
Yeah, that's 10 years, man. So when you hyper focus on a market, like I know everything that's going on in Austin and San Antonio, and I know the top brokers. I 10 years ago, I'm back to that same mindset, right? Calling Warren Buffett. I'm buying coffee for the largest brokers in Austin, telling them who I am, telling them what I want to do, coming from a position of taking notes. And 10 years later, these brokers have seen my path, right? I don't tell them about the stock, not that I'm hiding it, but they think I'm the biggest and best closer in the world, right? And that's how I'm trying to portray it. So I've known these brokers, and now at a point where they've seen my brokerage grow, they've seen us buy deals, they've seen us do good deals. They're thinking of me as a buyer or maybe the buyer. And so, I mean, in the last 2 or 3 years, especially in the last year, very few people are getting stuff done, right? But like we are, and that goes a long way. People notice that. And so last year in San Antonio, there were 7 deals over 100 units that sold. That's the 7th largest city. Yeah. And that's the seventh largest city in the United States, right?
Right.
And we bought 2 of those deals, which is probably like 40% of the units, because one of them is a 452 unit.
Wow.
So again, that was only 7 deals in the country's 7th largest city that closed with 100 doors or more. I'm getting that right.
Large multifamily, yeah.
Wow. See, and basically, like you said, you took down 40% of the doors last year in your city.
Yeah. And so, I mean, dude, it's the time to go all in. Like I'm half of me is like overworking, even though I work, it's harder for me to work harder than I used to, but like I'm recovering from a loss. So I'm like forced to,
grinding,
just grinding, man. But like this window of opportunity to really get after it is here. So I'm doing the best I can. And I've just learned, like you learn as you get older, like how many things can go wrong with investing in deals. Like when I was growing up, man, it was just like, at least from my perspective, if you invest, that's a good thing. Like that's just, you invest your money. That's what you do. But no one ever told me like how many things you invest in can and will go bad.
Sure.
Right? Including things that happen. Mm-hmm. The question is me and my 2 partners, are we the type of guys that will, go down swinging all the way before we lose? And we will. Like we would go, and all 3 of us would live at this apartment complex if we had to, right? And we're just very lucky that we're doing it at a really good time. I mean, we're buying these apartments for $80,000, $90,000 a door that people were buying for $120,000, $130,000 4 or 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And you're not really going to beat that. Like does the market drop a little bit? Maybe, but it's not going to go that much lower on a price per door on acquiring these deals.
Right. Now, what roles do your partners play in the acquisition, and how do you guys divide responsibilities at that scale?
I'm the capital guy. I'm the networker. I go to the events. I do stuff like this, and they're just operators. And they're as locked in and motivated and hardworking as I am, man. And as y'all know, like having good partners, that's the key. Like if you guys,
how'd you find him?
We've been best friends since we were 8 years old. Like
hustling. Okay. Hanging. Okay. So they're part of the grind over the last 15, 18 years.
Yeah. And Robert, so me and Alex Robert was my best friend and is my best friend. He was a Navy SEAL, and he got out of the Navy. He gets out of the Navy 3 years ago, and he's like, he calls me. He's like, I want to be an asset. What do I do? Dude, and I said, go get your master's degree in real estate, because 1, they'll pay for it, the government. Sure. Well, technically us. I tell them that all the time. Uh, but he could go learn and have that degree, which is the degree I got. And so now both of us have a master's in real estate. And
that's cool. Where'd you guys go? Do you have a specific school? Do you have good professors you recommend for people that might be listening?
Yeah, man. I mean, Texas A&M, it's, in my opinion, the best. There's a real estate center there. There's not that many real estate programs, but the Aggie network is a really big deal. There's a lot of like loyalty.
Biggest.
Huh?
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so
it's the largest alumni association yeah.
Yeah. And
Really?
so then you throw real estate into the mix, right? Like where it's basically all about networking, real estate, right? And so, yeah, I mean, that was I couldn't even, that's a whole nother story in some sense, but like I couldn't get accepted into A&M out of high school, but I got my master's degree there because I had 3 years of selling deals in a real way. And it looked good on a resume when I went to apply to get into that program.
That's sick,
that's
man.
awesome. Now back on the multifamily stuff, what are the biggest risks and opportunities you see in large multifamily right now?
Well, the risks are lower than they've ever been because if you're able to pull off deals. The hard part is getting the capital together. Most people that I know, I don't really know very many that are able to raise, I mean, we've been raising like 50 grand, 25 grand, 100,000. That's a lot of money, but it's a lot of work, dude, to get someone to agree to send you $25,000 and sign a contract and send the money is a lot. You got to get them to know, like, and trust you. They got to like the deal. You got to close them, all those kind of things. And so that's one of the biggest challenges that I see is for newer people, they think, this is a little bit of a pet peeve of mine that people say, find the deal, find the money. Like, that's just not true.
Right.
It's really not.
I love that you're saying this because I was just talking to someone earlier about the same exact thing, where it's like people say the deal is the most important thing, but try to close the deal when you don't have the cash.
Yeah, and like I never heard
Totally
someone
agree.
Like I'm living it, and I don't know. The people that I've heard that have said that, they're not even doing any deals.
They're not doing deals.
They're just repeating what they heard someone else say.
I know for a fact, I know several wealthy people that have a lot of money and opportunities come to them. so they had. I feel like if you have the money, opportunities will come your way. It's a lot easier to do a deal if you start off with the money.
Yeah, and so, but the thing is, like, I think, Lord willing, I'm actually relatively close to find the deal, find the money. But I've been doing it for 4 years, like really locked in, and so then it's like, all right, if I have a track record, if I build this reputation, it gets a little bit easier to bring the money in.
No doubt.
Right? But you got to be in the game at a deep level to get to that point.
Yeah. When you started coming through the ranks and you were talking to all these top brokers, were there ever times that you were nervous to talk to these guys? I mean, you're cold calling Warren Buffett and Trump, right? So like obviously confidence level is high, but I know that that's a big thing. A lot of people get nervous, and a lot of times it just takes that one call to land that big deal, no matter if you're raising money or no matter if you're just trying to close a wholesale deal, like from all kind of spectrums of the game. So with that, what kind of advice would you give someone that might be a little more timid? How do they get out of their shell? How do they network? How do they kind of follow suit? And what would be like an ABC step to create success, kind of like in your leadership and the way you did it?
Yeah, I mean, dude, great question. Yeah, dude, I was nervous.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
But I was motivated, right? When you're motivated, you get over that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also I came from a place of, I know that I belong in this room, and like I'm serious about this, and I know that I can add value. When you live and breathe it, and when you're in it, and you come from a place of like, how can I help and what value can I bring? Then that helps a lot, right?
Sure.
It's easy to add value when you do live and breathe it, because there's got to be something that you know, or something that you've heard, or something that you think about that they haven't.
Even something that they're not willing to do.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
I definitely have been on the back end of a deal where I was doing grunt work so that I could learn from someone who was crushing it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna really even gonna make any money, but I want to figure out my value. And at that time, I didn't really, again, kind of being nervous but motivated, being serious and trying to add value. I'm like, you know what? There's something that you for sure don't want to do. Just tell me what it is, and I'll get it done.
Yeah, and like, dude, I've also learned, one of my takeaways is like not to force things into existence.
Okay.
Like, I could go and call every person I see, or like my wife's doing property management right now. And I used to like not be able to drive by a for rent sign without calling them to try to get like a, for rent by owner to get them to let her to manage it.
Take every deal personal.
Yeah, and you could do that, like, but you just can't force everything into existence. And the reason I say that is, like, if you're meeting with a broker that you're trying to add value, and they got an arrogant vibe, or they don't, they're not, you could probably get through that barrier, but like, why? Like, just move on to someone who will let you try to bring value.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to. This is, I think, a great question for you, because I know I'm definitely interested in this. So, you describe yourself as someone who wants to be in the world but not of it. What does that mean in the context of business?
Yeah, well, good question. That's back to the partner. That's like the partner example is one thing, right? Where everybody's had a bad partner, but nobody's been a bad partner. Mm-hmm. When you're in the world and somebody does you wrong, then you just cut them out, right? Mm-hmm. That person not being of the world, you wouldn't do, mm-hmm. right? Because we've all made mistakes and we all need forgiveness. And like, gossip is deep and dark, dude. Talking about people and cutting people off as partners, that's dark too. We all need forgiveness, right? If they want, like, stole money and they're not like saying they're sorry and repenting or whatever, like, that's different. You can't deal with that. But if people are seeking forgiveness and like wanting to apologize and be better, not being in the world is allowing them that space and that forgiveness, which that comes to me being a Christian, right? Like Jesus was the ultimate example, and he died for our sins, and we all make mistakes. But for some reason, we forgive our mom and our dad and everyone in our immediate family, because we all have family, and us included, that make mistakes every day, right? But we don't tolerate that with other people for some reason. Like, we just cut them out. Yeah. And when you're not of the world, you don't operate that way.
Mm-hmm. How does your faith influence the way you lead, invest, and make the hard decisions?
Those kind of examples, man. Just like being like, I feel really led to share my story, not about me, but really to like try to. There's a lot of people struggling. I mean, all of us are struggling, right? Do we all really resonate with the person on stage that has everything put together? Not really. But it's like, hey, guys, I almost went bankrupt. I'm still fighting through. Like, people resonate with that. And so I just want to like lead to kind of step out of the darkness into the light, to have other people try to do that too. And stop acting like everything's perfect. Right? I'm sitting here raising money, not necessarily right now, but in general, but I'm sharing like other things in a real way, because I'd rather speak to someone's soul than like act like I'm perfect and walk out with $5 million from somebody I don't even really know.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that's interesting. Both sides of the coin there, because you're saying when you're hustling and you're motivated, and if someone's putting up a wall, there's going to be someone else that's not putting up that wall, and that's probably the person that you need to be led to, right? But then equally, you don't want to create the wall for someone else. Yeah. So I really, really love that. And I don't know if anyone's listening. I wrote down like 4 times, just like show forgiveness, because there's a lot of times where I'm too nice, and Sam has to like say like, "Hey, come on, you got to get your head in the game." But showing forgiveness, I think, is just really critical when you really take a step back and you're assessing everything. Like we are.
Well, and just to elaborate on the example you gave, I think it's definitely when people, because we all, like you said, we all make mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
So when someone makes a mistake in business, I definitely think that when an unintentional mistake is made, some grace and forgiveness needs to happen. If that person is obviously, feeling apologetic and has learned from the lesson. But that's totally different than someone who's like maliciously stealing out of the company bank accounts or, doing harm to the other partners in there, like intentionally. Versus like, dude, my bad, I forgot to pay the power bill on that rental.
But I mean, but I'm saying, like, let's say someone stole from you, and I'm saying like you can't, like, as a Christian and as somebody who's asking for people to forgive, is like you still gotta forgive that person if they are, hey, I messed up. Like, dude, we all make mistakes, right? When we're 6 years old, we steal our friends' Legos, and that's stealing, and that's acceptable. But when you're 25 and you steal $1,000, you're supposed to be cut off for life.
Sure.
We all, and who knows, dude? Like, I'm not advocating for it, but like I'm giving the example of Jesus Christ, who's like, whatever the best that you've done in your life is filthy rags for him still, right? And like people need forgiveness, and if we're just going to cut everybody out, that's what I'm saying. Like people are struggling with things, man, and who knows where they came from or how they were raised or what they went through. And I'm just trying. That's what I'm talking about when like not being of the world is like trying to level with them, and I never did that, right? But I'll forgive anybody. I have to, like, because I need to be forgiven.
How do you, in those situations, like when you're super hungry and you're super motivated, and other people maybe are not, how do you kind of level with people when you're talking with them and get in that mindset?
I don't know, man. Like that's my biggest struggle, because I care about people and I talk to a lot of people every day.
Mm-hmm.
And probably 90% of them are not even nearly as focused as I am, but I'm like talking to them because I like want to be nice partially. So I don't know. Honestly, I'm trying to figure that out. Like I'm trying to figure out how to balance most people not caring or operating on the same wavelength. Because I definitely don't think less of them for it, but it's like I've got goals that I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And you guys know this, like we're not getting paid hourly. We get paid when we close deals, and those things take a long time. So I've started to charge people for, like phone calls and analyzing deals, and like that feels okay. Like I've had multiple people pay me like $250 or $500 or $700 to do some things, but it's still not really what I'm after. Like
sure.
I'm trying to find potential partners, and I found like 5 of them and going through 1,000 people. Not that the 1,000 all couldn't be partners, but like to find a true partner that you can deeply trust is so rare. And I just think like once you do find that, to count your blessings and hold to that as tight as you can, like you guys, it's hard to find other people that you can believe in and trust and count on what y'all probably have, I'm assuming.
No, I appreciate 100%. That. Yeah, we definitely feel real lucky each and every day.
Met each other as brothers later in life, and yeah, I mean, we talk about that a lot. How it's definitely feels good knowing that we have each other that are fighting for our goals in business, and you got someone we can trust with the money and to make decisions. And
how long have y'all been partners?
Like 3.5 years.
Yeah. Okay. So like, I mean, look, for what it's worth, I mean, like I'm not trying to preach, but like I'm sure y'all will go through things if you have not already. And that's back to the forgiveness and the trusting and all that. Like just work through it, man. Like,
Yeah, we did that. We actually we have an
got a
episode
couple
on it.
talks. Yeah, we had a couple
Like,
talks.
you'll probably have more, right? And I will too. Like we all will. But like,
Yeah, well, and actually, I was actually talking to my girlfriend about this the other day, and I was because outside of this, I'm a franchisee in a restaurant chain, so I have 4 of those restaurants, and then I got my partnership with Will, and I was telling her how there was some of my gripes about being in that franchise is that I have people making decisions for me. So it's kind of like as a franchisee, I signed up for a job, but I'm having to spend all my own money. These people are making decisions, aren't having to spend their money. And
right.
I know it's right. Versus, well, I was telling her how my partnership with Will is so great because I have someone who is probably smarter than I am. He's bringing money to the table as well. And so like when he and I have a disagreement, well, I'm going to give it full weight because I know he's not talking to me out of pride. He's talking to me about what he thinks is best for our money together. And Will give me the same time of day as well because he knows that like I'm not trying to, push my idea to be right. I'm trying to push whatever I think is going to make us the most money. And so I think like so when you have a good partner that that it's like the team's number one, us players are number 2. It makes it really easy to work together and grow together.
Amen, dude. I love it. That's really great.
Yeah, man. No, I've been excited to ask this question and that was like a perfect tee up to it because I just recently became a father, and so that's been
man.
Yeah, man. Let's go. And with all of the additional added stress and things, we're in like a pretty good growth phase of the business, but like still locking in here with my family unit, and I consider Sam my family too. And so that's why I feel like I put so much weight into the business because just like Sam was saying, it's like we're 50-50 on things, and if I'm failing on my end, I'm failing him too. So I really am pretty excited to ask on this one. So just as a husband and father, how are you defining success today, kind of compared to earlier in your career, and how has that kind of molded your mindset? But then also, I don't know, fired you up and motivated. Going back to like motivation, I've written that down like 5 times here. So yeah, man. And coming as being a fresh father, like a lot of things, and I really haven't even talked to Sam about it, have been put in perspective like instantly. Like when you're sleeping like 2 hours, and then you're like, oh, I got to work another 15-hour day, and then I got to do also that we're doing to then provide for our family, but then I don't want to be away because all of these things are the ones that really matter. I just I'm pretty stoked to hear your answer.
Well, it's cool. I mean, there's a much more of a clarity on like time, like where am I spending my time, and at the end of the day, it's like whatever you're doing is I could be doing this or I could be hanging out with my 2 sons,
right?
And it's always going to be the sons would be better, but you obviously have to balance those things. I mean, as far as like what I'm doing, like, man, I got a cool story that I can tell them and inspire them by. I do a little simple thing where I just came up with this random, but whatever they're doing at some time, I'll say arms, and they come over and they put their arms around each other like this, right? And I'm like, I'm talking to them like a drill sergeant in some sense. And I say one word, and then they'll say the next like word or couple words, and I'll just tell you what it is. So I'm like arms, and then run over, and they're looking at me, and I say Teifkes, and they say never quit, always forgive, and I say,
cool. I love it.
Time kills all deals.
Time kills all deals.
And I say, Mom is dang beautiful.
I love it.
Love it. Fear is a disease. And then I say, ride together, die together, bad boys for life. And they high five and they walk off.
Let's
go. It's like my little, I'm trying to add to it here and there, but like
your
just little things.
Soldiers.
Yeah. And, so I just try to lead the best I can, man. Somebody told me like once they hit 14, you'll have spent 80% or 90% of the time you will with them for their entire life. Wow. And so that hits home, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're 7, so I got 7 more years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still see my mom and my dad, but like it's not the same as when I was a little kid, you know?
Sure.
So a lot of it's perspective, man. Just being somebody hopefully that can lead by example. Like, I mean, right now, dude, just being honest, like I feel like I'm like 40 pounds overweight. But I'm about to get motivated again, and I will, and I'll lose. And like for them to see things like that and to take them on that journey, like that can resonate with someone's soul in such a real way that you can't really measure. So at the end of the day, like they're their own people, and we all gotta respect that. Like they're created to be not us, and we're just here to be
Right.
we're just here to be part of their journey and help them where we can, and inspire
Yeah,
them and
dude.
lead them.
How'd
I
you
mean,
come
I
up with
think-
those affirmations?
Just wherever, man. Like if you guys have something cool that I should add, like I'm taking notes. You know,
I
I'm just
love it.
like it's just like things that I believe are like truth, and you can only do so many, right? So it's like
Mhm.
what ones really resonate with me personally, like I've been telling you about forgiveness. Like that's the first one. Never quit, always forgive.
I
Like
love it.
always forgive. Like my little boys are gonna know always forgive, always forgive.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
no,
I'm
I
like,
think
serious.
I think those are definitely great lessons, and they're gonna as they grow older, they're gonna remember their dad as the wise man that really put some good into them. I think that's amazing, dude. I love it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Have
Yeah.
you felt that your trajectory or I guess your goals have shifted um, as your family gets older?
It's just so much more about, like I said, not forcing things into existence and
Yeah.
not building in my name.
Mm-hmm.
Like I genuinely will look back in 20 years and I believe I'll be worth a lot of money. And I don't think that makes me special. I just believe that's going to be true. But it's really about like how do I act and how do I operate based off that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that that's like my path. And so I'm just sharing that because like my perspective of who I think I'll be going through what I have versus if everything would have just been up the whole time, I believe I'll be like a million times better of a person.
Sure.
So that perspective has changed, but I'm not just trying to do it just to do it, to think I'm important or to force it to happen. Like maybe I'm not that. Maybe I'll become a pastor. I don't know. But I feel very clear on like I got a cool story to share. I can be in real estate and hopefully not be, like the world and resonate with people in a real and have an impact. Like that's what I think is unique about what I'm trying to do.
No,
Yeah,
I love it.
I think that's awesome. And actually, I think you'd be an amazing pastor. I think some of the there's actually a guy that's head of a real estate meetup Will and I go to that he was a pastor who got into real estate because needed to provide more for his family of five than what the church itself could do. And he ended up doing very well and tons of wholesales, tons of flips, and very successful real estate investor. And now like he's able to devote his life to helping others in the word because real estate takes care of all of his financial needs. So I mean I think that's great. But some of our wrap up questions for someone who's chasing growth but worried about losing alignment. What's the advice you'd give them?
Don't force things into existence, right? Like if it's not right, don't force it, man. Energy doesn't lie. If there's not alignment with your values and what you know is right, like don't just do it. Like I'll give you a small example. I was at an event one time and like this guy they were like, raise your hand if your business does over 5 million, right? Raise your hand if it does over 10 million, 20 million, 100 million. This guy's the last guy with his hand up. So naturally, I'm a little bit like, yeah, I'd like to talk to that guy, right? But I didn't go out of my way, which there wouldn't be a problem if I did. But somehow I'm getting coffee, and then he's right there, and he starts talking to me. I'm like, wow, this is maybe happening for a reason, right? Like I'm raising capital.
Yeah.
And then but the thing is, I sat there, and this guy like just rambled on for like an hour and a half. He never asked me any questions. He just talked and talked and talked. And I just remember, like, never again in my life am I going to sit there and just listen to somebody who's not really with it. Even if I could have got money from that, right? It's just not even worth it to me. Like, I don't want to be somebody that's sitting around just waiting on the money and playing this little game. That will destroy my soul. Like, I'd rather just like be a friend with somebody who I could be a friend with. But that's tricky, right? Because I am looking for money. But still, me forcing it into existence was me just sitting there for 2 hours listening to him talk. And it's crazy to say, but even if he would have given me $1 million, like, it's still not worth it.
Right.
Like, the guy never asked me any questions about me or my family or what I'm doing. And like, what's the point?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
So
he was just go ahead.
I was just saying, what's next for the TR3 Capital over the next few years?
Hopefully we're going to come out of this market cycle as like one of the larger players in Austin and San Antonio, and be a bigger operation and be paying investors monthly and really just be leading in the most positive way we can, doing more stuff like this, sharing the story, trying to resonate with people, like bringing people to Jesus if I can. But ideally we buy, like, Lord willing, man. I mean, if we bought 1,000 doors this year, that would be, I would think that would be a small amount, and who knows. But last year we bought 700, and I never had done that before, and it feels like we could easily double or triple that this year. But we'll see. We just put our best foot forward and see how it shakes out.
And when you're doing this and putting these deals together, just for the listeners, what's generally the timeline to close and deal structure for when they're over 100 doors, and how you're putting things together? Obviously, each deal has its own complexities, but as you're rounding this cycle and you're hyper focused in just 2 markets, which if the listeners don't know, San Antonio, downtown San Antonio to downtown Austin, give or take an hour away. They're 2 major metropolitans that are very, very close. So you can invest in each city pretty easily. Like if you needed to, there's a fire drill in San Antonio and you're in Austin, or vice versa, you can make that happen. But
yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
Oh, I mean, that's a good point, because it really is basically one market. It's Central Texas.
Right. Texas, the Texas market. So what are those deals?
Central Texas is what I say. Like, it's central. We're investing in Central Texas is how I phrase it. New Braunfels would be included in that.
Yeah, no, great middle ground. San Marcos, super hot. Texas State, things like that. But those deal flows, like you're saying, you want to get 1,000 deals, 1,000 doors, and close that deal this year. 700 last year. Does it take a full calendar year, a full cycle to kind of put those types of scaled deals together?
I think what Will's asking, I'm curious on too, was like, what's the deal cycle from start to finish of like you pick one to you close on it?
Dude, they're depending on what type of deal. The ones that we've found success on right now we're doing loan assumptions.
Okay,
and
that's interesting.
They're super tricky, and that's the reason why we're getting such great deals, is because we're able to work these deals in a different way when most people can't. Like, dude, these things are super hard to pull off, but we've done 2 of them, and now people notice that. But the 2 that we've done took 10 months plus.
Okay, so you kind of circles almost through a full calendar year.
And how did that work? Like, was it you sent an LOI that had what 90 days on it, or how that what that initial thing look like?
Well, it was just even from like once we went under contract, like it was like 10 months, from the day we had it under contract. So there's probably like 2 or 3 months before that to get it.
Sure. Yeah.
And so the way we've been doing these is like our closing is like 30 to 60 days after loan approval, which who knows what that is? Like, who knows? Right. That doesn't even really mean anything other than as far as our timeline. So the good thing is these sellers are very willing to work with us. They want to work with us. They're giving us the time because they don't have a lot of other options. But we're buying deals like, for example, we're buying a $39 million deal and the debt is 36.5. So there's only like $3 million, give or take, in equity required to buy the deal, which that should be like $7 to $10 million, right?
Right. If not more, right?
Right. So like
25 on a huge deal like that is probably where you have to be at, right?
Yeah. So like it's $3 million in equity, and then we can raise another $3 million in reserves and CapEx and all these things. So it's a $7 million raise on a $40 million deal.
Right.
It makes our returns really high.
For sure.
Because we should be, like you said, probably like, I don't know, 12 or 15 million down.
Right. No, that's what got you into loan assumptions. Like what started making you work through that, or is that how deals kind of filed down?
Yeah, it was just the deals, man. Like the sellers, we have 1,000 doors right now under contract, like that's fully sick. Like as you guys probably know, like even to get a deal under contract is really hard.
Totally.
Right?
Very hard. Very hard.
Very hard. Like to get
a lot of offers, put a few under contract, and only keep 1 or 2 under contract.
Yeah. So like, 4 years ago, there's no way I would be able to have 1,000 doors under contract. I'd be one of 50 buyers, and I'd be definitely the smallest. But if we close these deals, that story changes. So like now where we're at, I mean, a year ago, I was having to convince brokers that we were capable of closing apartment complexes. Now it's a different conversation, right? Sure. I'm not having to do that, and I'm 2 of 7, so we're in a good spot. Like they're all sending us the deals; they all know that we're closing.
Exactly.
But it's just based on the market demand, man. Like this is the opportunity in the market right now. I'm not really like only a multifamily guy. I'm a true real estate guy. But the opportunity, in my opinion, is multifamily right now. In a year or 2 years, it could be retail. It could be houses again. Who knows? Sure. But it's like timing, location and timing, and then you're navigating like what's the best opportunity in the market to go at right now.
Mm-hmm. And do you see that trickling through loan assumptions over the next 12 to 24 months? Or
my opinion, man, is totally just a feeling. I keep saying this. I really believe that there's like a 6 to 8 month window that we have right now to buy these large deals. I mean, anybody really that hasn't done it at a high level that's not worth $1 billion or whatever. Like for us, other people, we've got 6 to 8 months to get these deals. And once that window closes, we're going to be at the bottom of the list. That's my intuition.
And why is that?
Huh?
Why is that? Why would we go to the bottom of the list?
Well, because there's going to be
absorbed by large firms. Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to be, the market's hot again, and there's multiple offers, and it's getting bid up. And, if I don't have 2,000 units at that time, they're not going to consider.
Right.
Did I lose y'all?
Oh, I think that's for a second.
Yeah, okay, cool. You were frozen for just a second.
Like y'all been in a hot market, right? It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And once we get there again, it's like it's too late to try to compete. Like it's just too hard.
Oh yeah. No,
right now you're not really having to deal with like bidding wars on anything. It's a few offers and they're looking at qualified versus
2 of 7. I mean, that's good. Right. 2 of 7.
Yeah.
Dude,
so much great information shared. Tell our listeners where they can connect with you and maybe about that Zoom meeting. I know we got on it one time after Jake was there and or Jake was on the show and that was loaded with information. So where how can people get on that Zoom call?
Man, it's just all I need is your email address. You can send it to me on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, wherever. I put you on a list, and it's every Thursday at 1. And, I'd love for you guys to be a part of it. It's not the Matt show. It's like a work session. Like how do we do things together? Like, I mean, I'm just calling brokers and we're doing deals, and it's fun to, as an entrepreneur, as y'all know, it gets lonely. So once a week, come do it. We'll all do it together.
I love it. You guys heard it every Thursday at 1, and that's 1 Central.
Amen.
That's awesome. That's awesome, dude. And that's just a closed group. You have to send your email, or is there an open invite?
Open invite. I mean, I can text. It's the same link every week. So I just got to get you the links.
Sweet. We'll put it down here, and we'll put it. We'll link it to the show notes. So
love it, man.
My favorite question always in closing is, if you had one piece of advice for someone that was listening, and they wanted to do what you're doing, what would it be? Oh, Monica's hopping in right now. She said, "Is this creative financing?" You guys see that on the screen?
It is creative. Yeah, definitely. It's very creative. And we're getting pushed through. That's the other thing is, like, we're getting approved on these loans that, should I be getting approved for $40 million loans? Like, probably not. But because the market is the way that it is and there's not a lot of competition, what are they going to do? They're going to own it, or they're going to let us buy it.
Right.
So then, like, once you get on the other side, it's a little bit easier. Yeah. Man, I just, the biggest advice is, like, don't tie your worth to your results in this business. Tie it to, like, what people say about you and your reputation and how you treat and add value for other people. That's really what matters. And this is just the other thing I try to somewhat help people, because this is so hardcore. Like, I mean, this is a test for you guys or other people. Like, go to your contacts in your phone book and scroll to the bottom and see how many you have.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, dude, I got 25,000, and I've never met anybody over 10,000 except my mom. And, like, if you have like 1,000 or 200, like, you're just not doing it right. Like, I'm adding 5 a day. And so my point is, like, to have success in this business, it's so hardcore. I don't look like Kobe Bryant, like, working, like, leaving the gym, but, like, I'm competing at that level. And with other people that are, and if, like, you're not at that level, like, go do something else, because as hardcore as I go, it's still extremely hard.
For sure.
Like, maybe that could just save you some time, dude. Like, this is so intense.
It is mentally draining. But when you get one and it works, man, that's another level of satisfaction.
The best thing about it, man, as y'all know, like, in this business, everything that you do every year gets better. Like, you get more connections, your net worth goes up, your cash flow goes up, your knowledge goes up. Like, everything snowballs in such a real way.
Definitely. No doubt. Man. Well, we'll put your link for every Thursday down in the show notes. We'll definitely be on at 1:00. If you have any other ways that you want people to connect with you, feel free. Sam, for all of us, you guys know where to find us, eliterealestatepodcast.com. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. I've been crushing Clean Eats meals on sleepless days and sleepless nights. So if you guys are ever hungry, busy entrepreneurs on the go, make sure you either go to your Mobile, Pensacola, Shalimar, Tallahassee, go to your local Clean Eats, grab some meals, either right out of the freezer, or definitely get on your weekly update, just like I do, and pre-order all your meals fresh, ready to go.
And if you don't live close to the store, shoot us a message at the eliterealestatepodcast.com. I have an affiliate link. Matthew, you mentioned you
25,000 people. It's a good affiliate.
I actually am going to send you a box of our Clean Eats meals, because I lost 172 pounds through meal prepping. I'll send you my after pick.
Yeah.
I was yeah. So I feel like we met for a reason, and you're probably in my life to help me advance on real estate, and I might have came into your life to help you transform. So I'm definitely we're sending you a box of 30 meals. I can get your address after this, so that way we can shoot it to you. Because man, I just love to have you on the show, dude. You're so inspiring. I love
100%.
I love how you bring your faith into what you do. The stories about having with your boys, like I said, I think that's great. And like I said, love that. And so the Zoom, like I said, the one Zoom call we were on was extraordinary, and I definitely want to join some more of those. And I'm looking forward to growing as one of your friends in the business, dude. Because like I said, this was like a great episode, and I really appreciate you giving your time to all of our listeners.
Same.
Amen, brother. Arms, boys. Never quit. Just forgive.
Mom's damn beautiful.
Mom is dang beautiful.
Never quit.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, hey, any final thoughts before we close out the show that you want to leave with our viewers?
Man, just I'm not here to talk as much as like I'm serious, and if I can help or support anybody, like I'm open book. Like no one ever has reached out to me and not heard back. Like I'm here to help the best way I can, and hold your loved ones close, and God bless you guys.
I love it. I love it.
Man. Well, hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in, and we can't wait to see everyone next week on the show. So thank you all for listening to the Elite Real Estate Podcast, and we'll see y'all next week.
See you next week. Never quit. Always forgive.
Let's go.
Let's go.